Hey everybody, I'm Garrett.
And I'm Carolyn.
And we're DJI RV Family.
And we're living life intentionally with you.
We got some friends with us today.
Hey, I'm Natasha.
I'm Bill.
With Nursing Our Travel Bug.
And yes, we are not 6 feet apart. We'll explain that.
Yep.
That's right. So thank you so much for joining us. We're going to have all of our mobile devices because our computers are further away so we could get everybody in the shots.
Yes.
So Bill will try and keep the feed up here. I've got my notes here.
Garrett is managing us as well on Diary of a Family. He's blown up. You should have done this more often. Sweet. He has blown up our chat so I can see it like 5 feet away here.
Oh, how do you do that?
It's a Mac thing.
It's a Mac thing.
Really?
He's going to blow
Sorry.
it. Look, Bill, we can't even see you on the feed anymore.
So we got Posh Cats, Roy and Becky's Travels, Melanetti, X Marks the Spot, Living Light RV, Kent Peterson, and Lightful Mind is on.
Woohoo! On the Diary of a
Steven.
Family feed. And, oh, Bernie
We got a lot of...
wants to give kisses.
And Bernie.
And you guys were all over the chat probably about 20 minutes before we even started.
My goodness!
That's awesome. That's
Bernie.
awesome.
Bernie wants to give me kisses.
All right, we'll go down the list so we can see who's here. I'm just going to pop them on the screen because that's the only way I can see it, being so small. So our Epic RV Adventure, number one in the house.
RV Epic RV Adventure.
Bob's Adventure. Hello, hello.
Hi, guys.
Melanetti, good to see you here as well.
They have multiple
They're
devices.
all over the place.
Yes,
What?
I love it. Daydream about nice things.
Hi,
Hey guys, how are ya? Some more hellos in the house. Full-time Dream. Hello. Thanks for joining
Hello.
us. Good to see you. Thanks for watching the drone footage. Ooh, I haven't seen that yet. I gotta check it out.
It was just on.
Ooh,
Cool.
I just missed it.
Very cool.
Who else? Who else? I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody, so I'm just putting them all up because I can't see. These don't have anything to do with it.
It's just the fact
It's
that
like
your
life rerouted
your
might be the only
laptop
one you
is-
missed.
Okay.
Papa Drew just
Thank
joined,
you for being here.
and he said I was told there would be cake.
yes.
You know, funny you should mention cake, Papa Drew, because today happened to be this special lady's birthday.
Yay!
Oh my gosh, I'm almost
Happy
40.
Birthday.
Another.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Carolyn. Happy birthday to you.
Thanks.
Well, we got the Nomadic Ramblers also joined.
Hi, Nomadic Ramblers.
Hey, hey. Let's see. Sorry, I'm still making it through the chat. Roy and Becky's Travels.
Ooh,
Hi, guys.
hi, Roy and Becky.
So, yes, Papa Drew, we do have cake
But
made by yours
unfortunately-
truly.
She's a great
Have you turned on
cook.
Smell-O-Vision yet?
It smells so divine in here
If you
right
turned
now.
on Smell-O-Vision, you could probably smell it.
Yes.
It's that warm chocolate cake smell. I love it.
Life Rerouted. Hey, guys.
Hi, guys.
Welcome. Let's see. We're almost there. Fifth Wheel and Food and Fixin'.
Bernie
Hey,
says hi.
hey.
Bernie says hi.
Papa Drew. Oh, on two.
Papa
he's
Drew's
dude,
on
double duty.
Loving the love and support. Absolutely. And everybody saying happy birthday.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. I am another year closer to 40.
I
It's
feel you,
scary.
sister.
It's scary. Yeah.
All right. So,
My goodness, I got so many happy birthdays on my channel. Living life, Papa Drew.
I still need to make something
Posh
fun
Cats
on our
camping.
screen.
Oh, something fun on our screen so it pops up.
Chocolate. Mhm.
oh, X marks the spot. Doing the double live too. Hey, hey.
Hi, guys.
Hopefully it sounds just as good on both streams.
Yes. No wind this
no
time.
wind this time.
No
yeah.
win this time.
All right, so I'm gonna have to call you, Hope, and check in with you, see how you're doing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Wow, this dog is so loving.
He's such a big baby. He didn't want to hang out with the kids. We
Yeah.
have the kids just beyond our kitchen in the bunk room watching a movie.
They're being quiet for once. It's amazing.
Don't say the Q word.
Oh my goodness! Knock on some wood over there. Okay.
Knock on fake wood.
All right.
All right. Wait, that one might be real. Do it.
Oh!
Falls
Might
down.
fall apart.
Yikes.
Pulling on
Ear
by a
trim.
thread. By a staple.
We promise we will get to our topic shortly.
Yes, yes.
Yes, hashtag cool kids.
Whoop, whoop. So, first thing before we jump into our topic, we want to discuss with you the fact that we are social distancing as a group. So, yes, we're all together, and, you know, yes, we're social distancing from the rest of the world, but we've been traveling together for, what is it, 3 weeks now?
2 weeks on the road, 1 week in the RV camp.
Yeah.
Here. So it's been about 3 weeks since we caught up with each other, so... Yeah.
We might have different trailers, and we might have different last names, but really we're one big RV family.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, I've been thinking about it and wondering, you know, as we get into the craziness of doing COVID and having so many patients, that, you know, maybe we should spend less time together, but it's like our children they're already so cooped up and not having very much to do. So I feel like that would be torturous just to say, sorry, you're in the same RV park, but you can't play. It would just be mean.
It would be.
After so many weeks of being together.
Yes. Well, and you and I get to go to work and see other people, other adults. Yeah. And these two fellas get cooped up in the house with the kids.
True.
So.
It's true. They need that fellowship time, that bro time. # bro time.
Right.
Social distancing bro time.
Just no bro hugs. Yeah.
Well, that and the fact that our live streams sometimes fall on our days that we work, and it's hard to run a live stream by yourself. So having a partner, a hangout buddy for a live stream would be awesome.
Yes. Daydream about nice things. He likes to do live streams on his own, and he does a really good job of keeping up with the feed and everything. But that's just it. Is for me, if I'm reading the feed, my brain will get sidetracked so easily, and then I'll be like, what was I talking about?
Yeah.
And I don't feel like it would be really good by myself.
Now, I know some families, like my aunt, she's self-isolated, even though she's in the same neighborhood as her daughter and son-in-law and their kids, and it's been tough to be away from grandkids and stuff. Seeing each other, they use walkie-talkies just in case there's an emergency, whatever. He does the shopping for them. But that's smart for her, being that she has some underlying issues, that if a child that wasn't showing symptoms brought it into the house, she could get very, very sick. So, you know, in those situations, highly recommend to isolate away from other people. But the fact that we're all healthy, we have young kids, we all have about the same amount of chance of catching it, since you and I go to the hospital and these guys do the shopping, and it's like, I think we're pretty much safe.
I agree. I just want to say hello to Beyond Beauty 3. She just popped in.
Hi.
Posh Cats.
Posh Cats camping.
And a Bend Your RV Adventure. Lucky Dog Productions moderator.
Hi.
And yes, you mentioned daydream about nice things.
Yeah.
Garrett is putting in here on Diary of a Family, if you have any questions, leave them in our comments so that we can get to them. Any questions you might have about what's going on with us, or what's going on with the COVID stuff, and we'll do our best to answer as frankly as we can, and if we just don't know, or it's not really, it's like above our pay grade, we'll let you know.
Right.
For sure.
Yes. Which really gets into what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how the coronavirus pandemic has affected how we're living as travel nurse families, and then, yes, also how it's affected our new jobs and the onboarding process and what we're dealing with in the hospital.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah. So we want to hear from you, how you guys are living, how it's affecting your lives, and like Carolyn said, any questions that you might have for any of us.
Yep. So Bill is going to be looking out for those on Nursing Our Travel Bugs channel. Garrett is looking out for those questions on Diary. Yep. So we'll try to get to everybody.
Yes.
Posh Cats is on both streams
Rena Allen.
Well.
Rena? At first I thought it said Regina Allen. I know a wonderful woman named Regina Allen. Haven't seen her in years.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Nurse Allen. It's great to see you here.
So I do have a question, if you want to start out with the question, or we can get back to it. Living Light RV says, what are you doing to keep the germs at work and not bring them home?
Ooh. I feel like I'm not keeping them all at work, even though I try my hardest.
Right.
We come home feeling... Okay, so first off, shoes. Big thing. What are we doing?
Well, I haven't yet, but I'd like to get some kind of a container I can put in my trunk. So I can just leave my shoes there. I only have work shoes anyway, that I only wear to work. I don't wear them anywhere else. I've got 2 pairs, so I can swap them out, between days off or like if I'm working a stretch. So for now, just putting them in a plastic sack and wearing other shoes out there and then changing.
Yeah, that's what I have. I have a big garbage sack that I've kind of spread open on my car floor, just in the passenger seat there, and I just gingerly take my shoes off and plop them in there and sanitize my hands and then slide on my new pair of shoes. So shoes bring home things. At work, we'll get into at work and how it's pretty interesting how we're having to protect ourselves at work, not the normal workflow that we're used to.
Right.
But we bring it home on our scrubs for sure. And I was thinking about it as I finished up my first day of work. Here I am sliding on my sweat jacket over top of my scrubs. So now the inside of my jacket has all the cooties on it. So I came home and I was like, okay, jacket has to be washed. We're going to be doing extra laundry, I feel.
Yeah.
Everything came stripping off, dropped into another garbage sack so that when whoever's doing the laundry is sorting, they don't have to actually touch it. They can just dump it into the machine and dispose of the garbage sack. And that's probably what we'll do for laundry so it doesn't get mixed in with the regular laundry.
That's a good idea. Like, whenever I come home from work anyway, I immediately take off my scrubs, put them in the laundry, and change. And then I wash my hands, of course. Like, that's my routine, period. But, yeah, I might actually end up putting them in a separate sack. Bernie, you are a big baby.
He's loving.
Melanetti wants to know how Carolyn's hands are doing.
You guys, they are still so dry. They're not burning anymore. But even as I came over here, I was like, gosh, I really need some more lotion. And I've been, lotioning as often as I possibly can. So I don't know what it is. If it was the sanitizer that this hospital uses is not as gentle as some. Because, I worked for years, and only every once in a while I had chapped hands. And I sanitize all the time. But
the dry air does not help here.
No, it doesn't.
So dry.
It's pretty dry here. Oh, Bernie, you're trying to make a
my
comment
live stream.
here.
Yeah.
Say hello.
Yes, welcome Art of RVing. They're actually asking if we got all the grease out from under our fingernails.
Yes. Mine are nice and white.
With all the hand washing, for sure. And I had my nice purple gloves to keep my silky soft hands nice and protected.
Yes,
Silky
he's referring to our truck maintenance video.
Whoop,
So
whoop.
if you guys haven't seen that, that was our latest video that came out on Thursday.
I'll have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, we changed the brakes on our truck, which, oh my gosh.
Were they bad?
Well, the first 3 were great. The last one, not so much. But then I went back to work because we were finishing our Texas contract, and Bill finished the differential fluid and transfer case fluid.
Oh, that diff fluid, huh?
Yeah.
Thank goodness Nick was there.
Yes.
I keep thinking about it. We've had our trailer for over a year, and we've never repacked the bearings, and we haven't gotten that done. So we gotta do that soon on our trailer.
Yes.
We keep watching the tires. They're
It's
starting
still
to
even.
wear. They're even,
But it's even tread.
Oh, hey POA! Thanks for jumping in and joining us.
they
They,
been on
they,
our
were, they were on ours as well.
Yes,
Mr. Steve Turtle.
Oh,
Hi, Steve Turtle.
Turtles.
Hey. Oops. Silky soft. Oh, so nice.
nice.
Yes, very, very nice.
Silky smooth.
There's
Epic
Steve
RV
Turtle.
Adventure wants to know if you've tried Aquaphor for your dry skin.
Oh, we had some, but I haven't. I think I got rid of it because it was very, very, very old.
Wow.
And we were paring down at that point, but I haven't bought any of that yet.
Well, we
Of
have
course,
some
it's
you can borrow.
Sweet, I'll try some.
Yes.
My mom suggested coconut oil, and I just haven't gotten the jar out of the cupboard yet to slather it on.
Right.
That's what's helped with irritated skin for my babies' butts when they've had really bad bottoms.
I used to use it when I'd get a tattoo. You put Aquaphor over top of it, and it helps it heal.
Why is it
I haven't had one in a long time though.
Okay.
But I digress. All right, we've welcomed everyone. Is there anybody new on? Any other questions yet?
Some kind of hotkey I keep hitting that keeps going to a blank screen.
Whoops.
Oh, of course, if all these
I'm
great
not
channels in
even
our
on here.
chats,
I'm
if
on-
you don't have any of these people, check them out.
Yes.
Yep.
Fifth wheel and food and fixin' on your channel there.
Worried about my wife at the pharmacy. The shields are delayed for the counter. Hey, Eddie. But thankfully, she's in the lab mostly, but her coworkers up front have no PPE in the face and the public unprotected. That would be scary. Yes, I would think of all the healthcare workers, the lab would probably lab and pharmacy would probably be the most protected. Well, pharmacy more so than lab. But yeah, to be out in public and not have any face protection, because really that's how it's spreading. I mean, the CDC says it's spread by droplets, which is like a cough and a sneeze, like particles that come from, your mucous membranes. But the World Health Organization says it's airborne.
Ridiculous.
So, I mean, in any case, a mask would certainly help protect you, for sure.
All right, we are having some issues on our channel over here.
Keeps blacking out my screen. I think it's a hotkey, but I don't know why I'm not even on the
Not over there
streaming
on the
service.
streaming side.
But it's still it's overriding it and jumping over.
Raggy.
We're still getting audio. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Can you guys see anything?
Well, they can see it. That's what they're seeing, but
Okay.
I keep dropping to black screen and then going back.
Maybe you should grab my phone there and comment with my phone instead of the keyboard.
Ooh, I like it.
That's probably a good
I'll
idea.
do it that way.
Then we'll stay away from the hot key, whatever it is.
Hey, New Horizons.
We'll figure it
She's talking about the RV karaoke on Slow Momentum's stream tonight. Want more girls to sing.
Yeah, they got
I don't
that. I know Our Epic RV Adventures having a big dinner party
Yes.
this evening also.
That's awesome.
What's for dinner?
Well, I don't know. We'll have to tune in and see.
X marks the
Before
spot.
them is POA, and then before them is Beyond Beauty. Sounds like she was doing some animal trivia this evening.
All right, X Marks the Spot had a question. Did you find a new RV site with all the closures?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
We moved yesterday. We are now at a KOA, just about 8 minutes from the original park.
Yep.
It's a big parking lot, basically, but we have beautiful views, and
8 minutes closer to Reno.
it is 8 minutes closer to work, and it'll do. It'll do.
That's right.
With us needing, power and water for all the showering we're going to be doing to get rid of the COVID germs.
Yes.
This is just going to be the best thing to be
Keep
hooked
it
up.
rated.
And they did have 2 long-term sites available. Ours is good through the middle of May, and yours is good through the middle of June.
End of June.
End of June, so
Yep.
we'll have to probably finagle a little bit towards the end, but we're comfy now.
Yeah.
Unless they up and tell us we have to leave, we're good to go.
Appears they have plenty of room.
It
I
does
think they're
appear.
not taking any short-term stays, I don't think.
Yes.
Because half the park's empty.
Yeah.
So
Which is so weird. It's so weird to see like rows of empty parking spaces without RVs when the rest of us are just crammed in one after the other.
I know.
Hey, Linda Barker, looks like a Lily Gypsy Child Raid. Thanks
Raid!
for joining us. And I thought I saw somebody else coming too.
She's looking.
So, yes, I know
Jerry
the
Holly.
screen keeps going blank. It's a hotkey thing, and I'm trying to... my keyboard's over there now, so
Hi, Jerry Holly. Good to see you.
it'll be fine now, I promise.
Oh, and Skip to LaRue. They just
Hi,
popped
Skip
in.
to LaRue.
Hey, guys.
what's up?
Oh, we sure are missing you.
Thank you, Jason,
Yeah.
for the birthday wishes on Facebook.
Yeah.
I saw that. I've gotten a lot of birthday wishes on Facebook.
And
Oh.
Wandering Wiley. Hello, hello. Good to see you.
Welcome.
We're over 25. I think that's a new record for us.
Whoa,
Man.
that is a
Oh.
record.
We have 17 on ours, so...
Super chat!
Super chat!
Never Nettie! Super chat on Diary of a Family. Thank you so much.
They're so good at showing you guys love.
I
They are.
know.
They're so
They are
sweet.
They're our sweet grandma and grandpa on the road.
I love it.
They're not not old enough to be grandma and grandpa yet, but we call them. But the kids love them.
That's awesome.
Their mom and dad to a funny cat. His name's Jack. He's
Mm-hmm.
a great big giant thing.
You're about to fall down.
Yeah.
Bernie.
Don't fall down. He's like, cat. Don't talk about it.
Yep.
So Jack is, I forget what kind, but the big cats. That,
A Maine Coon?
yeah, it's in that family, the Maine Coon. And he talks instead of meows. And his favorite food is, let me see, whipped cream and
ham.
Delicious.
So weird. To each his own.
But I'm like, I miss my pussy at home. My mom sends me pictures every once in a while of my giant fluff ball like sprawled out somewhere,
Aw,
enjoying the sun or
that's
the
cute.
heat of the fireplace.
He's loving it out there.
He is.
So
Thank you, Mary Louise, for joining.
Hi.
hello.
Pastor Mary Louise is on.
Was it X Marks the Spot that had asked about RV parks?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So kind of jumping off of that, we had noticed that Kurt with Our Village had made an announcement that nationwide 30% of the RV parks have closed.
That's crazy, you guys.
Yeah.
That's a lot of RV spaces.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Especially when you know that nationwide right now there's not enough RV parks for everybody who owns an RV.
Yep.
So hopefully
Yeah.
all of you all like have a place to park right now.
Are you seeing it? Are you seeing that match up? I think we only heard of like some maybe Corps of Engineers and of course state parks.
And national parks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I do know a lot of full-time families either have their own house that they can go back to and have, or they have like brother, sister, or a mom and dad that they can go back to their property and spend time with them during this time, which is really great because, you know, there's actually safety in numbers. If you have an issue, you get sick or something goes wrong, you have people there to help you and back you up.
Absolutely.
And I've also been hearing that people who have RV hookups at their house have been opening it up to people saying, hey, look, I've got RV hookups. If you need a spot, let me know.
Yeah, which is awesome. So Blue Wave's chiming in over here, asking Mr. Garrett if we can count on you again this week for the slow-mo karaoke.
Probably not, since it's my birthday and I'm gonna say, I want my husband.
Yeah, we're celebrating this little lady's birthday, so
Yeah.
We have some delicious food ordered from a local restaurant. I got a gift card. Thank you, Natasha Sage, for my birthday gift card. And these guys are going to come over and enjoy that delicious bounty with us.
And we made her a nice special chocolate cake.
Yes, I can't wait to taste it.
Hopefully it tastes as good as it smells.
I want to read that.
Yes.
All right.
Skip to LaRue. A lot of the Texas state parks have been shutting down. We're trying to book our next 6 nights and bunch just shut down this week. Gonna try to spread it to a couple parks in close distance, or just come to Reno. You know,
Hey.
pack it up.
That would be a really far way
Just
for
kidding.
them to drive.
just
right?
drive over here.
travel
It's not
during
that
this
far.
time.
It's only
No.
27
Besides-
hours of driving.
Besides, as soon as you hit Nevada, you'd have to isolate for 14 days
Yeah.
before you could join society.
So you have to go to
again.
one state, isolate for 14 days, go to another state, isolate for 14 days, go to another. It'd take a month and a half to get
Yeah.
here.
We get here by the end of our contract.
Yeah, basically.
We just miss you.
Stay in Texas.
Aw.
Texas says you can still have your churches open,
Yes.
so that's fantastic. Just self-isolate and stay 6 feet away from people and use your hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
Cover your cough.
Exactly.
Rosebud Travel says, I'm staying in. If I get it, I will likely die.
Oh, don't get it.
Don't get it.
I do have friends who would probably be very sick and possibly die if they got it. So, yeah, take care of yourself.
Milnetti said, our park is open in Floresville, Texas.
Okay, there you go.
Well, I mean, 30%, that's still well over half the parks are still open.
Right.
But, you know, as far as ones that are closing down, whether by edict from the state government or by them wanting to, whatever, I don't know.
Yeah. Papa Drew says stay inside. I mean, really, that's the best advice. Stay inside. If you're at an RV park, just hunker down there if you can. Like, traveling from state to state, it's getting so risky right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Right, and I mean, even right now, employees of this hospital that we're at, we're not allowed to travel 100 miles, like, beyond this area, so it's pretty crazy. Hi. Hi.
There's not much beyond 100 miles from here, though.
I know.
No.
It's all desert.
But they still have it open to California because we are literally right on the California-Nevada border.
Yeah.
And, of course, California is one of those states that got hit really hard. But where we are in relation with Reno is there's a couple of outlying cities on the California side where people are commuters and they come in and work in Reno. So to shut down the whole border would displace those individuals as far as work.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're fortunate enough that we can go to work and have a paycheck, but for those who rely on it or live paycheck to paycheck and then it stops, like I can't imagine that angst and that worry and that fear.
I think a lot of us are thinking very hard about when this is all over. Building up that emergency fund that you don't touch, that is there in case something like this happens. You know, 3 to 6 months of bills, and it's pretty scary when you don't know how you're going to pay the bills.
Yeah. So X Marks the Spot said that they got tested and was negative.
Yay! Thank God!
That's awesome.
I was gonna call you guys and find out what was going on. So Richard, you're going back to work tomorrow morning. We're all gonna be at work tomorrow morning.
That's right.
Pray for us.
Excellent.
I'll be here in my trailer. Yeah. Not this, my trailer, but
So that's a good segue. We can talk about how it's affecting how we live and affecting the kids and like normal stuff.
So, Papa Drew said, stay inside. I would say stay inside if you're in a heavily populated area and there's tons of people out.
Yeah.
But when you are able to get out and get your walk in, get some exercise,
fresh air is amazing.
That's going to help keep the anxiety and just being down because you're trapped inside. You need to get fresh air. You need to get sunshine, and you can do that safely, very easily.
Exactly.
Yeah. So please get out, walk your dog, take some breathers, and go stand in a park and say hi to your friend. You can still gather a few people at a time and 6 feet away and have a chat. How you doing? Yeah. I'll give you a sterile high five.
Yeah.
Oh, so I missed it.
X Marks the Spot says, are you close enough to Lake Tahoe to visit when it opens up? Absolutely.
Yes. Our
we
plan
will
was
go.
Going to be exploring tons of these beautiful areas.
Yeah. We still will.
Yeah.
And
We just
I
have
will,
to wait for
and
the snow to melt.
I will go into Lake Tahoe. I will jump into
You'll
Lake Tahoe.
jump into Lake Tahoe?
Oh, yeah.
Not till June, I'm sure.
You cray.
Oh, I've done polar bear plunge before. I understand cold.
Okay, we'll videotape it and put it on Instagram, Facebook. Polar bear plunge, Lake Tahoe.
Blue Wave was asking what makes it over, and how is that considered? I don't know if we said it. Did we say it was over?
No.
No.
I think that's just his question.
Are we going to go to Lake Tahoe when things open up again?
Yeah.
So when things are, the
What
virus has passed and things have been returning back to normal.
I think it has to do with that curve everybody keeps talking about. You keep hearing this phrase, flatten the curve. And right now, the curve is the exponential growth of the number of cases of people who have coronavirus. So eventually it's got to peak, and start trending back down. Whether it's because less people are exposed or people are getting sick and recovering, and
now they have immunity, right? Yeah. And so they're not going to be able to spread it on. Yeah. As we build the immunity to it, then you're going to see less and less people who are going to be affected by it. And so I'm going to assume at some point the CDC and the president and those who are in power are going to say, okay, we see that things are kind of have come to their peak and are headed in the right direction. We're going to say it's safe to start doing these things. I don't know that they're going to lift everything overnight.
Oh, gosh, no.
They're probably going to still recommend that those who are in the risk category stay away from people and protect themselves. But they're probably going to start opening businesses up again first, I think. So you'll be able to go to a restaurant and eat, or you'll be able to whatever. All those things that you can't do right now, like I need a haircut really bad.
Papa Drew said Oregon just went on lockdown until mid-September.
Yeah.
It seems a bit of an overreaction.
Yes.
It's like this is going to be the eternal virus. Like, what?
I think they'll probably change that when they see that all the other states are kind of headed towards normalcy. Yes. They're going to change that because they're not going to want to. I mean, they're going to lose business and income, and people are going to revolt if they see that other states are kind of back to,
Maybe they're planning for the worst and hoping for the best.
Papa Drew also said here in LA, they are saying the peak is mid-May.
Okay, yeah, with you guys having started earlier than everybody else, Washington, Oregon, and Washington, California, and New York.
Oh yeah, New York City.
I think they're going to see their peak sooner than everybody else.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm wondering if any of the Midwest states are even going to really have much of an effect. I've been hearing that a lot of the Midwest hospitals are, unless they're in a really big city, they're empty. They don't have the patients in them.
Nope, they've gotten. In fact, I was chatting with some nurse friends of mine earlier today in the town of Bemidji, Minnesota. Bemidji. It's the first city on the Mississippi. # trivia question.
Cool.
But it can't be more than, 15,000 people?
15,000? Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty small. That's where, is it Bemidji State University is there? It's a tiny, tiny college town. But the hospital there is like 89 beds or 90 beds. And they said they've just cleared all of their census out and people are staying home, but they are seeing cases of COVID-19. And I don't know if it's amongst the patients or the staff or both, but yeah, it's starting to make its way to the middle of the country for sure.
Praying for everybody, that's for sure. Yeah. Skip to LaRue made a comment here.
We are a triple threat. Nurse wife, meat market's been busy as a mess, and EMT part-time. Camper all stocked up and plugged in here at the house in case someone needs to use it as a quarantine.
That's really smart, actually. Being able to stay at home, and then you have this separate unit to self-quarantine, because you guys, Jason, you're probably higher risk than the rest of us are, because you don't know what you're walking into as an EMT.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's really smart.
Exactly. So X Marks the Spot has a question. Are Carolyn and Natasha taking care of confirmed COVID patients?
So,
can we talk a little bit about that without breaking HIPAA?
I think that we can.
Yeah, because I'm not. I have had one shift caring for patients on Friday, and I cared for all day someone rule out COVID. So test wasn't back yet, so I don't know. And then I stepped into another room to assist the patient and give a medication for a confirmed COVID patient. So yes, I have been exposed.
And she works at a different hospital within, it's the same renowned hospital system. Hers is on the south side of town, and I'm at the main campus. So, of course, the main campus, 800 beds, they are seeing COVID patients. They have designated floors for the rule out and for the confirmed patients. With my particular unit, it's one of the telemetry or the heart units. They are kind of being designated as the ones for the step down from the ICU. So they're still pretty sick. They need more frequent monitoring. So they don't want to expose those patients potentially to this COVID virus. So if we have an admission and it turns out they want to do a COVID rule out, they actually send them to one of the designated units.
So you're on a clean unit.
Yes, I'm on a clean unit, but we are travelers, so we are first to float. Yes. And I do have that potential to float to these other units.
So the unit that I was hired for and have been training on is a medical surgical unit, but mainly its bread and butter is surgical patients, and they have canceled all of the surgeries through the end of April at this point. And so their census when I first came on was like 8 patients on a 40-bed unit. Wow. And then the census was 10 or 11, I think, when I came on the next day. And they do have some COVID and COVID rule out right now, a couple. But their plan is, from here on out, that is going to be the clean unit, and the unit upstairs that's actually the tele unit, they're going to send tele patients to us, and the ICU and med tele unit are going to be their COVID unit. And then they're working on opening up a lower floor that has been closed. It was being used by another company, and that's going to be their overflow for COVID. So they're hoping to keep a clean unit and possibly start doing a few surgeries here and there, because that's really tough for people not to have their scheduled surgery. And,
for sure.
But again, I am expected that if the census is low on my unit, I will be floating to the COVID unit or even over to the main campus. And then hopefully you'll be working the same day, because I am not going to be able to find my way around. That hospital is huge, and I haven't been in it yet. The hospital that I'm at is a much, much smaller hospital. But
So Jerry Holly is asking, you guys are treating everyone like they have a virus, completely geared up with gowns, masks, and gloves before we make contact with anyone.
Not everyone.
No. Is that so? Jerry Holly's a firefighter. So is that what you all are doing? Where you guys are at? For us, we're not. the ER potentially. I haven't visited the ER. I'm not privy to what they're exactly doing, but I would hope that because you don't know what's going to walk through your door, that yes, everyone would have a gown, gloves, and mask. I know that in the hospital that we're working at, everybody has to have a surgical mask. Every employee.
You have to have your face covered for sure.
Yep. But on my unit, because we have these high-risk patients, we're actually required to wear the N95 masks all shift long.
So it's really protecting your patients from you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you being protected as well from them if they have.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry. Once again, I'm giving Blue Wave trouble. I've been trying to click on my phone to see things, and I think I hid one of his comments.
Oh, no!
So I'm trying to see if I can unhide it. Sorry.
So, Papa Drew wants to know if there's any medicines they're prescribing, and are there ones that are working?
Yeah, because
I
we're
heard
not
there's some good stuff
pharmacists
with,
and we're not doctors, we're probably not going to really dive into it, but the patients I had were on a broad spectrum antibiotic, a heavy duty thing. It's one of those things that we really can't talk about because that's above our pay grade.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're not actively explaining to us as nurses, this is our treatment regimen or this is our new protocol.
Yeah.
Like, we're not privy to that information.
And it seems like every day there's changes to things. So I do know that certain ICU patients, when they hit a certain criteria, are going to start getting a certain medication regime. I am not familiar at all with those drugs, and I won't be giving them. So really, it's supportive.
Yeah.
We're doing a broad spectrum antibiotic, so that if there's anything else that's in the body, we can be affecting it. We're giving them throat sprays for the sore throat, hydration if they need it. It's just support. And if a patient comes in, has COVID, is able to come off of oxygen, and again, doesn't need IV medications anymore, we're going to send them home regardless of whether they've kicked it or not.
Exactly.
And they're going to go into 14 days of quarantine until it's cleared their system. So
Avenger RV Adventure had mentioned Washington and California are reporting a lower number of new cases. So that's positive.
Good.
That's great
hopeful.
news. Yeah.
I've got a lot of friends who are nurses in Washington.
Another question from Living Light. How has your PPE requirements changed, and do you have enough gear? You guys can talk about the mask thing.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And the gown thing too.
Yes. So our first onboarding, we can premise with that. Onboarding has been
crazy
different for us. So
it's absolutely nuts.
Onboarding is the process of going through orientation and getting ready
it's like
as
starting
travelers.
a new job every single time.
Yeah, every single time. So you do their health requirements, and you get the trainings that you need, and you listen. You're familiar with the major policies, and they show you how to look up other policies, and then they'll even have us demonstrate that we're able to perform certain skills.
But this go around, they had to modify all of that because of the danger with the coronavirus. So we've done a lot of this orientation virtually, with the exception of our first day.
Okay, let's tell them about our first day.
Okay. So our first day, we had to go in and do our fit mask test.
We're met with a locked door, and the lady who opens it asks, do you have any respiratory symptoms or a fever today? And and have you traveled through Washington, California, or didn't she ask us where we traveled from?
Yeah, yeah.
Our answer was no for everything, so we were admitted into the
It's like we were ushered in.
occupational health.
Come in, shut the door, lock it again. It was very crazy. But we all gathered in the lobby, and there was probably, 8 to 10 of us, would you say?
10 in the group, yeah.
Yeah, and we all sat 2 or 3 chairs apart in this lobby area so that we could all get our mask fitting test done. And what they do is you put on this N95, then they put a giant hood over your shoulders.
That's the craziest thing.
And then you have this little hole in the hood, and they put an inhaler device in the hood and spray this really nasty stuff.
It's bitter, very bitter tasting.
Yeah.
Ours was sweet, but it was it got right to the back of my throat, and then that's all I could smell the whole time.
For the government.
Yeah.
It was this bitter tasting stuff.
Because it's the government, the sweet
the
cost
government.
extra.
It's lowest bitter.
Yeah. Yeah. But as we were all standing there with masks on our faces and hoods over our shoulders and breathing and turning our heads, this lady outside on the sidewalk, there's a big picture window from the lobby where we were sitting, and this lady had a mask on, had a scarf wrapped around her head, and she's just walking by, and then she looks over, and then she does a double take, and then she looks a third time like, is there something I don't know? What is happening?
Because it's pretty funny, 10 people with these great big white hoods over there, and they're all like turning their heads and up and down at the waist, and it's pretty crazy. So after we got our N95, we were told, look, this is it. You get one N95. It is a disposable one-time use mask.
Yeah,
Traditionally. Like you would go into the room, care for your TB, rule out patient or whatever, walk out, discard it in the garbage. That is our one mask now until it either falls apart or has bodily fluids on it.
Yeah.
And most recently, they're saying we should also cover that mask with another mask, a cloth one or a surgical mask to protect it.
Breathe from a straw.
To protect it from bodily fluids to make it last even longer.
Yeah. But they're giving us the option to have it sterilized twice a week. I don't know how they're sterilizing it. It's going to central processing in our brown paper bags that have our names on it so that we get our mask back and not Mary Jo's over here. And to wear one for 3 months. Like JACO, the authority who governs the proper technique for hospitals, must be having a fit.
Joint Commission is not going into any hospitals at this point.
No.
That's what
we would all fail.
They refuse to enter any hospitals during this pandemic. And it's probably smart. They're just letting the hospitals do what they have to do to get through this. Okay, so we're also wearing gowns to cover our uniforms so that we don't get COVID on the uniforms and spread it to the next patient.
Exactly.
But these are also, again, they're paper. They're paper, basically. And it's supposed to be one-time use. You walk into the room, you do your patient care, you dispose of it. We have to use that gown for the entire day so that we don't run out of stock.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Just hang it on a hook.
And
make sure that you take it off right.
How do you take it off and not get it on your clothes?
Yeah.
It's just like,
because they teach us when you take your gown off, you rip it at the shoulders and you fold it in on itself. As you're pulling your sleeves out, you fold it in on itself and throw it away so that all of the germs are wrapped within the gown.
Now we have to extricate ourselves in such a way and then try to hang it so that the clean side stays clean, but now you've got the dirty side kind of floating in the air. It's ridiculous.
It's so natty. All right, you got more questions or?
Yeah, virtual campground came in. Hello.
Hello.
Is it Liz?
Skip to LaRue is over on our page now too.
He does have a question.
Yeah.
And I think this is kind of cool, at least. So, if we were to get sick or quarantined, how would the contract handle pay/care?
Yes. Well,
well, Atlas says that if we have to be quarantined for 14 days, they will pay for those 14 days. So we will not be out of work or not get a paycheck,
which is a blessing.
It is a blessing.
Yes.
Not all of the companies are doing that. So
I don't even think all the hospitals for their permanent staff is doing that.
Yeah.
They're not giving them, crisis pay or whatever it's called.
No, hazard pay.
They're not doing this for their core staff. So I am very blessed to be working for an agency that sees fit to take care of their nurses because we're family for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have a couple also.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys just started, but our Epic RV Adventure asks, are you seeing the hospital being more or less busy than pre-COVID? And Avenger RV Adventure asks, only twice a week? I don't know if that was your
for the sterilizing. Yeah.
How many pairs of gloves can you use?
Oh, there's no shortage of gloves.
Yeah, that's the one thing we have. Hallelujah.
We can wear as many gloves as we feel we need to. And seriously, I've been using multiple just to get the dirty gown off and the dirty mask off so I don't contaminate. And then even putting the mask back on, because I've been taking my N95 off. I haven't been able to tolerate yet having my face covered with the N95 all day long. Yeah.
So it's funny that you mention, like, how is the hospital coping? So yes, beforehand, we don't really know what their census was like. This hospital serves a lot of folks in a very large community. So Reno is like 400,000 people, but they're constantly utilizing travel nurses just because of how many people that they serve.
Because they get patients in from Utah all the time, all the way, like, remember that
Probably
side?
anything Tahoe
California,
area.
Tahoe area,
Yep.
all the way down to Las Vegas as well.
Yeah.
They're coming to Reno for their care.
But it's so crazy to see. But they're preparing. The word on the street is that they are anticipating getting like 1,100 or 1,400 new patients or new cases of the coronavirus within the next week or two. So in order to prepare for this massive influx, they are making a makeshift hospital out of the first 2 floors of, get this, the parking garage.
This is a mountain town at 4,000 feet elevation, which they're predicting snow tomorrow. So,
you guys, this is like disaster proportions. They are preparing for a disaster. So what we have been feeling like is it hasn't hit the fan yet. Yeah.
And what's crazy, at least for me, I can't speak for the rest of you, but I'm not afraid of the coronavirus personally. I'm in my mid-30s. I'm healthy. I don't have chronic respiratory problems. If I get this virus, it's going to feel like a cold or the flu. I'm going to get over it and I'm going to be fine.
yeah.
But when you walk into a hospital situation where you're reusing masks and gowns and they're making a hospital in the parking garage and, talking about calling in the National Guard.
It's
and
surreal.
It that makes me scared of what we have to deal with in that scenario just to care for people.
Yeah.
So
It's definitely going to be an interesting ride, and hopefully it's not as bad as they say, but we shall see. I mean, Monday, Tuesday morning, we could walk in and everything could be completely different.
Yeah, they're changing. They're trying to be up to date and changing policies and procedures in the way we do things, like hourly, not just daily, but hourly.
Partway through my shift, somebody came up from another department and said, okay, we're changing your process, and this is why. And it was specifically for the hoods that people have been wearing instead of the N95s into those isolation rooms. And they're having to clean them in between use so that multiple people can use these hoods. And they were cleaning them and putting them wet back into the little container on top of the isolation cart, and it was breaking them down, and they were having to throw them away. So they're saying, okay, now you need to hang them up here on this pole for them to dry properly before you reuse them.
Which makes sense.
And I mean, every hour we're sometimes getting these new ways of doing things.
So my brother Nick just joined the feed.
Hi, Nick.
And God love him, he's bringing a little levity to the seriousness.
The star of our most current video.
I drink Corona regularly, therefore I'm immune. Well, I don't know if there's any scientific proof, but I like your enthusiasm.
That's for sure.
And apparently our Epic RV Adventure really enjoyed it as well.
Roy and Becky's Travels asked, how long is the average time the illness seems to last in a person? I think it differs.
It does. The healthier you are, I think the shorter, the more mild the case, the shorter the case. Between 7 and 14 days, I think, is going to be your norm.
And then Kent asked, kind of follow up on that, will those who have it and get well have immunity?
I think, up to a point, unless the virus mutates. Which viruses are prone to do. I don't mean to scare you, but for instance, the flu virus, it's a very rapidly mutating virus, which is why you have to get a flu vaccine every year.
Right.
COVID-19 is the 19th strain of this particular virus. That's why they call it COVID-19. I would have to do some research to find out when the original COVID virus was discovered. So you would have a timeline of when you go from the first one to the 19th to see how often or how frequently it's mutating.
I've seen one of those timelines from all the major diseases that we've had throughout the last couple of centuries, and COVIDs have been with us for a really long
It's not like it's
time.
a brand new
No,
disease.
it's not a brand
it's
new
just
disease.
a new strain.
It is a mutation. So I'm thinking that probably, even if it did mutate, you already had immunity to the first. The mutation probably won't be so great that you'd get really sick again. Maybe you'd have a few mild symptoms and think, oh gosh, I feel like I'm getting sick again. Right. And then your body would probably be able to recognize it. Oh wait, I kind of recognize what's going on here, and build its immunity up and kick it. That's my best guess. Right. I don't think it would like mutate so ginormously that we'd have a whole second epidemic on top of the first.
I think the scariest thing is, though, that you can be a carrier for so long. Yeah. Like, you can carry the disease up to 14 days and spread it
without
that
knowing
entire
that you
time.
have it. Yeah.
Which is different than the flu. Typically, you are only spreading the flu when you have a fever. So I think that's also what's scary about this virus in particular.
Yeah, because you could be carrying it, or your child could be carrying it, and then they meet up with grandma and put it on grandma, and then grandma gets sick. Yeah. So you didn't even know.
Yeah. Blue Wave is talking about how he and Debbie are staying safe. Do you want to read that?
Yep. It says they have masks from spray painting or crafts, and he has thin gloves that he never used for the black tank. I think thick rubber gloves better. So we have masks and gloves, and they're glad that they do.
Absolutely. That's smart. I will jump on a soapbox a little bit about the gloves.
Uh-oh.
And this is not ridiculing anyone in any way, shape, or form. But you have the best protectant right here. Your skin protects you from getting anything, into your system.
Unless you have cuts on open areas on your skin.
Right.
Yeah.
So going out of the house and putting on a pair of gloves, and then touching your keys in your car, and then going into stores and touching doors and touching items and touching your wallet and touching your register, all with these same pair of gloves, I feel actually puts you at a greater risk of contracting germs because you're not washing your hands. Yeah. So my advice to you all would be to carry around a little bottle of sanitizer and not wear gloves. And when you go into stores and you touch something, sanitize your hands. You pay for your stuff. Sanitize your hands before you put your card away. Yep. Sanitize your hands before you touch your keys. That, I feel, would protect you better than wearing gloves all the time.
I've heard, too, people suggesting, when you get home, shoes off, keys and wallet or purse go in some sort of tub in your entryway or in your laundry room or wherever you need to keep it. But so it's all isolated from the rest of your house because you don't know. Did it somehow in your process of being out grocery shopping, did it get something on it? So, and you can't necessarily sanitize a purse. You could probably sanitize keys.
Yeah. You could wipe it down at least, I suppose.
So, just be aware of that sort of thing and just more hand washing.
Yep. It's the number one way to prevent the spread of germs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Living Light RV wants to know, what is your opinion about homemade masks?
Homemade masks are not going to protect you from COVID-19 if it actually, it'll go through...
if it's airborne.
If it's airborne, it will go through the cotton. What I've heard, which you could start working this into your sewing crafts when you're making these masks, using a HEPA standard vacuum bag and cutting that, because it has to be at a certain level so that it doesn't keep throwing bacteria and germs in the air when you're vacuuming. I think 95%, which is higher than our N95s are rated at, or 90. N95 is the rating. 95% of everything is stopped by it. So you could go out and get some of the vacuum bags and just cut a piece of it and stick it in between your layers of fabric, and bada bing, bada boom, you got that barrier that's going to keep those smaller organisms from going through.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. Posh Cats, the UK is expecting to peak in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and cases are still climbing rapidly here. Yeah. I think it's so crazy that it's these first world countries that are getting hit the worst. And I don't know if it's because we're more heavily populated, or that we have larger cities that are tighter and closer together.
I think that, and also there's more international travel to places like Asia.
Right, so more people coming in and out and bringing it in and taking it out.
Our Epic RV Adventure, the National Guard has the ability to set up hospitals and triage areas. Those tents are climate controlled and better than having someone else set up something in a parking garage. Not free though. No, it's that's another thing that really frightens me about the whole COVID thing is, you know, our president is doing this stimulus package and sending it out to people who, you know, who aren't working to get by and pay for things. And, you know, we're talking about we have to pay for this entity and pay for that entity. And yes, the National Guard, we've got to pay for these guys, you know, and gals if they're called up. So
they're not free. They do this for a living.
Right. I mean, and our economy is already in a slump. I just worry about the aftermath. And what that's going to mean for us as taxpayers. But you know what they say about worry. Just give it to God and it'll all work out.
So. All right, X marks the spot had a really good question. Are your patients being allowed to have any visitors? You want to talk about your hospital, then I'll talk about mine.
So I actually have an interesting patient story to go along with this. Right now, no. They are not allowing visitors. There is a children's unit in our hospital, and I do believe that they are allowing one individual. Now, I don't know if it's one at a time or if it's one for the whole day. Because, I mean, if my kid was sick, and I am the kids are they can't make their own decisions. They have to have that decision maker there. So that makes sense. But the general population, no. Now, I did have an elderly patient who lives with her daughter, and the daughter is the power of attorney and the primary caregiver, and she was not getting enough information. She didn't feel like she was getting communicated like her mom's progress, and you know, she's probably scared, you know, if she's with mom 24 hours a day
and now
and takes care of her,
cannot see mom.
She showed up in the lobby and was going to sign her mother out AMA or against medical advice. Mom is not ready to leave the hospital. She still needs a lot of help. She'll probably need additional help once she's medically cleared to leave the hospital. But this lady was so scared that she was willing to take her mom and go. And luckily the doctor and the other nurse went down and talked with the daughter, and they came to a meeting of the minds and said, okay, we'll let you come and see mom for an hour. She had to have a mask and wash her hands and things like that. But she got to see mom, and I think that helped her and helped to reassure her that mom was okay. But that is a rare exception to the rule right now.
So what I've been told, because the whole shift we saw no family members for our patients, which is really kind of freaky on a medical surgical unit. We're used to the comings and goings of multiple family members and big old meetings of 12 to 20 people in this little bitty room. My understanding is they're only allowing a guest if it's in those special circumstances where, you know, this family member is struggling with depression, and it might help them to have somebody come up and talk with them or something like that. An elderly patient who's confused and needs to have that family member to kind of ground them. But rare. This is the exception, and it's only between certain hours, like 4 to 7 or something like that. And but like I said, have not seen. They have all the doors locked except for the ER entrance, and even people walking in from the street. I saw a patient walking in and a family member with him, and they refused the family member and only accepted the patient. And then they've locked up to, you know, there's a employee entrance, and it has an employee sitting right inside the door to make sure, screening that you have your badge and you're supposed to be here and that you're not sick and you have a mask on. And it's pretty crazy.
And it's
all locked down. It's
so heartbreaking. I can't imagine being sick and not being able to have you by my side, you know, or to come in and check on me. It's one thing that I feel the hospitals are doing right. Because these are the people who are at the greatest risk. You don't want the chance of bringing something additionally in to make them sicker.
And it protects staff members as well. I mean, when we have those interactions with family members, they're not our patients. We don't know what they're carrying, and so we're not properly gowned, possibly. So it's protecting us as well. It is really weird, but we get the feeling that everybody's really understanding about the situation. It's just heartbreaking for those patients who are fighting the COVID in an ICU unit. Is it going to be their last days and not having their loved ones with them? They are working. I mean, we are in this electronic generation. We have so many amazing ways of communicating, like we're communicating with you now. And so there are iPads available with the Zoom on it, and so we can have those interactions with family members.
Well, it was really sad. Our pastor from our church at home mentioned on his message today that a week or two ago, their daughter, their son and daughter-in-law gave birth to their third grandchild.
They haven't been able to
They
meet
haven't even been able to meet their grandchild yet. And they're like, it's going to be at least another couple weeks.
And babies change so much.
They do. They change so much. So, I mean, that's very hard. That it's hard, but we're going to get through this.
That's right.
Yep.
And this is for the best.
Absolutely.
It is for the best.
So I just want to jump in and interject really quick. Our hour is up, but we're going to keep going. We're going to keep answering your questions. We're going to keep chatting until we feel like we've got this covered. But we don't want to step on any toes for other folks who are doing their hour live streams tonight as well. So if you want to cut and run, Beyond Beauty 3 is next. She's doing her trivia tonight, so feel free to jump over there.
And we don't have any moderators, so I guess we need to ask. Well, we do, but they're sitting right next to us. So we need to get a couple more. It'd be nice to have some links in there, so maybe, I don't know if anybody
is available.
I highly recommend
I know it's not always
Melody.
fun to moderate because you got to be working and sometimes you want to watch. But if anybody wants to do that, hit us up and we'll get you in there. Otherwise, head over there. You're not going to hurt our feelings.
You can come back and watch the replay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You can watch the replay.
So I know a lot of people, or some, have already left. So thank you guys for coming.
Yes. We're going to keep venturing on. But it's Beyond Beauty 3, and then is it POA?
Then POA.
Proceeding Onward in America.
Our Epic RV Adventures having their awesome dinner party this evening.
That's right.
And after each dinner, they're going to go out for a night of karaoke at Slow Momentum.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's what we know of the lineup. But thank you for joining us. If you have to skedaddle, but we're going to keep on keeping on.
Yeah. Retired old-timers said in Alberta we are only allowed 15 at our church service. So we had exactly that many. No more allowed, and we kept our distance.
I'm glad that you were able to meet, though, as a church, and hopefully your church had the ability to stream live so that those who couldn't come or weren't allowed in could be a part.
A lot of churches are starting to step up, and it's really great to see that. What was funny was last year, when we were still in Washington, I was doing a lot of service stuff with my church, and I'm like, why aren't you guys doing live stream stuff? There's people that aren't even here that could
joining
do it.
In,
And they're like, oh, we don't want to make it feel like it's such a production and stuff. And now they're full on live streaming. I'm like,
there were no hiccups or hitches at all as we watched our Sunday morning service from our home church in Washington.
That's awesome.
There were a few issues in previous messages and things. So it's great that God's word is getting out in so many different ways. I guess there were some Zoom parties afterwards, like post service parties on Zoom for our church, and
that's awesome.
So many different ways. And like I have Bible study every Monday night. COVID hasn't stopped my Bible studies. We get together on Google Hangouts, and it's been great.
Well, and I think that for me as a Christian, that is one of the things that I can appreciate the most that's happening right now is you can really see the love of Jesus coming through, and helping bring folks together. New Horizons, she says she's got masks and gloves, the thick hospital grade. She and her husband Jim are keeping safe in the high risk category because of her very low immune system.
Stay safe.
Absolutely.
We did pick up some new moderators. Thank you so much.
Yay!
Papa Drew, Mel Nettie, Living Free Zip Codeless, and our RV Adventure.
You guys are so sweet. Thanks for helping out.
Yep.
Mwah. We love you guys.
Ask and you shall receive.
That's right. That's
Thanks,
right.
guys.
Anything else I'm missing in the chat, or any other questions that have popped up?
Just some people that are just saying they're gonna hang out here.
Okay.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, we
have any
appreciate
more comments or questions? Yay for online Bible studies. I know.
Yep.
Lisa, I have been so blessed by your Bible studies, so thank you so much for helping me with my spiritual growth. It's been hard as a parent and a travel nurse, and to, have that feeling like you're growing in that area. So
everyone is doing YouTube now, is what Papa Drew said.
Yep.
Honestly, it's no better time. And those of us that have been doing it for a while now, we already know how to do it.
Yeah. I mean, we've been doing live streams for 2 years now?
Yeah.
Garrett and I are
over 2 years.
We've been working hard.
Oh, Steve Turtle showing some love. Thanks for all the hard work you nurses do.
That's
thanks.
Awesome.
Thanks. I mean, I keep hearing, folks thank nurses and doctors and folks in the medical field. And, while I love a good thank you, because I feel like we don't hear it enough, for me, it's hard to say you're welcome, because I feel like this is something that I would do regardless.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, we come across crazy, infectious stuff all the time at work when it's not a pandemic.
Some of it's even worse than what we're dealing with
TB,
now.
right? TB, C. diff, MRSA, all those yummies.
Right. So it's for me, it's been a calling since I was like 4 years old. So this is what God put me on the earth to do, and I love it. So I'm more than happy to do it. But thanks for the thank you.
Our Epic RV Adventure said, we haven't seen their bill yet. We will pay you in Whataburger gift cards.
And Aldi cake.
Aldi
cake.
Another question. What advice do you have when talking to kids about this?
All right. So Emma has had lots of questions, and when we started having these discussions and watching videos and updates on the news, what is this COVID stuff, Mom? And anxiety in her voice. And, babe, this is just something that's going around. It's probably something that you're not going to get, or if you do, you'll be sick a little bit. But we're just going to wash our hands more. And yes, everything is closed. Okay, you guys, our lives have changed so much. So much for the kids. We're huddled at the RV park in our RVs. We're out as we can, not allowing them to go to parks because they're closed. I mean, we can't go to the library. We're homeschoolers.
Yeah.
We need the library.
Well, and that, like, when you're looking at RV parks, like, that's one of the things we look at. Like, we were driving through town the other day, and we're like, hey, there's the sign for the there's the sign for the library.
Yeah.
My library.
Will just had a birthday, and he's always huge and like putt-putt, or we go out for pizza or something.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
Sorry, rain checked on your birthday. I mean, we had a good time.
We did. He got to play video games all day. We had a big birthday breakfast.
He said he wanted burgers for supper, and we made it happen.
Yeah. And because we're quarantining with friends, he
did
got to have a party.
He did. So that was awesome. And we've had movie parties.
We'll be all birthdayed out by the
Right?
time we're done with this content.
It's true, because we're doing my party tonight, and then Emma and Bella get a party together probably.
Because their birthdays are one day apart. So cute.
Who would have thought that?
I can say that building them emotionally during this time where they can't have communications has been a good thing. We've recently put on Messenger for Emma so that she can communicate easier with friends at home, and that's been a big thing. She's noticed not going to church every Sunday.
Yeah.
She's very much the people person and needing that interaction with people every day, every week. And so this has been hard for her. The boys not so much, I think. But it's been good that we've had a couple of friends that they can spend time with. And I don't know where I'm going with that.
Okay, sure. All right, Bill's gonna. Speaking of children,
he's gonna go check on them.
They still have chores to do, and we started laundry a little while ago. So He's going to send them to the laundromat to go tap.
We have our laundry still.
Let me finish up that question. What advice do you have when talking to kids about it? Just saying, you can catch this. The best thing to do is wash your hands and stay out of people's faces. But don't be afraid. Because, I mean...
Fear is
the flu
your
goes
worst
around
enemy.
every year.
When the kids pick up on that, probably.
Keep your own anxiety and emotions under control because they feed off of that.
And it's a good opportunity to teach really good hand washing. And, talk about, of course, you should wash your hands after you go to the bathroom. You should wash your hands before you eat. You should wash your hands when they're visibly dirty. But just for kids, it's fun. If you teach them to sing happy birthday twice, and then they know their hands are properly clean. So you can turn it into kind of a fun game and not a chore.
Oh, Mel and Nettie, I wish you guys could come to my party too. Garrett and I have contemplated just putting on a stream, and streaming the entire dinner and birthday party. And
there you go.
So that people can come on our feed and join us.
If we do that, it'll be just a static shot. And we'll
shot.
try and jump in and see what
we'll
the
say
chat's
hi
doing.
every once in a while.
If anybody watching is up for just join us for our Carolyn's birthday party, just a live stream, leave a thumbs up or yay or yes please in the comments.
All right, Bill's back. Yes. So our Epic RV Adventure was commenting that he gets the same way when somebody thanks him for his military service. Don't really know how to respond. Yeah. It's just, you're welcome.
But thank you, Michael.
Yes, thank you for your service. Yes. Brian E. Stevens, that's Bill's brother.
Hey, Brian.
Hey. Yes, dead dog. No, he doesn't have to follow the social distancing.
No, not at all.
He's getting all the love.
All the love.
It's all good.
He's enjoying this a lot.
Here, I'll give that back.
I think it's funny that he's chosen my lap to lay on. He's warming me up quite wonderfully. He's got such a fuzzy blanket here.
Yeah. Oh, Adventure RV Adventure says their latest video is all about showing the essentials and the love during this difficult time. I think that's what we need to see more of. We kind of contemplated whether or not we would do a video or do a live stream where we talk about this COVID, because we're trying not to feed into all of the hysteria that
there's a lot of fear and hysteria going on, and we don't. If you want to do all that, watch the news.
Watch the news, follow the Facebook feeds. We've kind of stepped back a little bit, and we're more encouraging. So if somebody says, I'm not feeling well, I put in there, we're praying for you. And give good advice, and
it's great to see happy videos like that.
No fear mongering here.
No.
It's been tough just not having our normal routines and our normal life, and having to tell the kids, sorry, we can't go to the grocery store. Sorry, we can't go out to the park or the library. That's the hard part for me. So.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Have fun walking.
Oh yeah, Papa Drew. Blue Wave is asking Papa Drew when he does his stream now, because I know he's been doing random live streams to show what the public in the LA area is doing from his balcony window, and I know he was doing live streams Saturday nights at 8 Eastern, every other weekend. So yes, that's a great question. So Papa Drew, you want to plug it in?
Answer Blue Wave Odyssey there.
Yes.
Our Epic RV Adventure says, stream the party!
Stream the party!
All
okay,
right.
There's one for streaming.
Yep.
Mel and Eddie want to know... wanted to say we would bring ribeyes. We're having Italian. We're having pastas.
But when you say ribeyes, that reminds me of Skip to LaRue and Jason's fantastic steaks. So we need to look him up.
Yes.
And order us some steaks. Because he
yes.
said business is booming.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think he said it's kind of complicated to ship them.
That's okay. We'll find a way, right?
Right. Or we'll just dream until the next time we're together and do another. Yes. Do a ribeye rally.
A ribeye rally.
I have a whole video episode from there.
For the ribeye rally, we're gonna have to share. We had our own little rally before everything was shut down in Texas. Before we left, it was absolutely fantastic. My favorite memory about our time in February. So Anyway.
Daydreaming about nice things. He came back. Another phone call. Ooh, the other box.
Oh.
No worries. You can catch everything on the replay for show. But thanks for coming back. We appreciate it.
Live and Light RV says stepping away from the news feeds is important. Refuse to panic.
Yes.
Refuse to panic. So
yes.
that's the most important thing right now. Yes, you need to be careful.
Informed.
Yes, you need to be informed. But if you're hearing more and more panic in people's voices and they're concerned and the media is like, oh my gosh, everything is falling apart, just step back and see if you can't find another source of information to moderate what you're hearing.
Yeah.
Because what some people might think this is the end of the world might not be as bad as all that.
Don't listen to Chicken Little. The sky is not falling.
But it is! The sky is falling!
Roy and Becky's Travels, we got on the subject of food. They've got pork chops or brats, but the steaks are still frozen.
Oh, well, eat them on another night, right? Oh.
Yeah, Tired Retired Old Timer says news info is very depressing.
It
Definitely
is.
needs to stay positive.
Yes.
I did a video on RV media creators on Friday, and one of the articles I found while I was doing my research for it, the video, was regarding the mindless scrolling.
The scrolling.
This
through the feed.
Scrolling through the feed, and this was an article that came out in 2017.
Shows
it was
that
just
it
like
causes depression.
it causes depression when you're mindlessly scrolling through a news feed and you're not like participating or you're not being active. All you're doing is consuming. It actually is depressing.
Well, that makes sense, because when do they report on positive things happening?
Exactly.
Right, so the way to counteract that is to start creating and actually be part of the answer.
Yeah, come up with how can you take this situation you are in and turn it to help others. You know, and you might realize that you actually are an entrepreneur, or that you have something that you can bless others with.
Yep. Live and Light RV says, guys, I have to go. Love you all, and you are in our prayers for protection and energy for the tasks at hand. You are a solid source of information. Thank you for comforting us. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Good to see you guys.
Okay, Blue Wave Odyssey.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's talking about, he's 64, so he stays at home, and Debbie shops alone. But she's always been a germ freak and is more so now. If you're a germaphobe and you hear about a new virus,
it's gonna put your world on topsy-turvy. Yeah.
Absolutely. But you know, I hope that we've kind of eased some of her fears a little bit, and we just gotta wait for this peak, and then it'll be all downhill from here. So
the thing with the COVID is that the outer layer of the COVID that keeps it alive is very. It can break down very easily with any sort of soaps. Most cleaners, it will break it down and kill it very easily, very quickly.
So we also just have those soap bubble parties. Huge soap bubbles and just go.
Let's just do a big fun run.
Yeah,
a big fun run in the soaps.
In the soaps.
So washing your hands, sanitizing is what's going to kill it. So and just remembering that if you haven't sanitized, you shouldn't be touching your face, because your mucous membranes, that's how it's going to get entrance into your body. As long as your skin is all intact, that's your best your best barrier to this bug.
Epic said they gotta run. They gotta get some stuff for their dinner party. Thanks
right.
for coming, guys.
Have a good dinner party.
So it looks like folks are probably bowing out. Do we have anything else on our list of topics?
No more questions. I think
we didn't go down the list, but we kind of bounced around, and I think we got all the major things.
Yeah, we did.
So I think we did a really good job. Hopefully that was informative for everyone.
Yes.
Both Nursing Our Travel Bug group and the Diary fan, the D fan here.
Yep.
We've enjoyed hanging out with you, we will bring you more information, more good, awesome, clean, wholesome fun.
That's right. We've got some stuff in the works.
So our video on Wednesday for Diary of a Family is we're going to be talking about how a lot of this stuff has affected us. So this is kind of a continuation of what you've heard today. So definitely stay tuned for us on Wednesday. What do you guys have coming up?
Well, we're actually working on a travel nurse talk video, but not for travel nurses, more as like a PSA for all of you out there.
Awesome.
About what you
awesome.
can do to keep yourself safe and healthy right now. So,
Awesome.
That's fantastic. So a little bit deeper dive into
Yeah,
the good
yeah.
stuff about protection.
Yep. So that'll come out on Thursday. This
Awesome.
next week. Yeah.
Okay, so
And
Wednesday
then-
and Thursday.
Yeah. And do we want to talk about our 500 subscribers?
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
They
How
reached
could we
500
not
subscribers
talk about that?
last Sunday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
last Sunday on your live.
They're live, thanks to
Yeah.
them. They,
Yeah.
Thank you to the D-Fam for subscribing to our friends here
That's
and getting
right.
them to their 500 mark.
That's
It's always
We
that
love you guys.
last, like, 4 or 5 that you're just like, come on! They just threw us right over the hump.
Yes, yes. So we've been talking about doing a giveaway.
Ooh,
Yeah.
at 500, a giveaway.
Do we want to
Awesome.
try and do it next week?
Sure.
We didn't really talk about this, so you're the first.
I think
to
we
know.
might take a page out of Blue Wave Bob's book and maybe we'll do a giveaway video for everyone to
Yeah.
throw a comment on
Comment
that.
on
And
that.
we'll do
Yes.
a random comment picker.
Cool.
And we're just going to figure out what our special prize is going to be.
Sweet.
I think it'll be an Amazon gift card.
Yeah, that seems pretty easy.
Especially
Again,
since that's
out of
the
Bob's
best
book.
way to hand it over to them quickly and then they can
Yes.
shop with it without leaving their
you
home.
can send it to the email.
Yes. So I think that the video we're going to choose.
I think we're going to make one. Once again, we haven't really discussed this. The page out of
Oh,
Blue
yeah,
Wave's
make it.
book, you just make a
You
quick
make a
video,
quick
say this is a
30-second
comment
video.
video,
Oh,
comment
okay.
on this.
But we've got a really great video from New Mexico that we can have everybody watch and comment on.
We've thought about that too. We have videos no
It's
one's ever
easier to find
commented on.
just a short video up front to comment on.
So I guess, but
everybody
if you
hit
just
the bell
want
button.
to, out of
Hit the
the
bell.
kindness of your heart, go to our New Mexico video because it's really fun.
Hit the bell button so that if they do pop up their little video, you'll get that notification and you'll be able to go in and comment and be entered.
Yes,
Yeah.
be entered to win.
What we're talking about. He already left. Blue Wave said goodbye. Wow.
Blue Wave said goodbye. Goodbye, Blue Wave.
That's okay. We love you. We appreciate you coming on. We appreciate all of you joining us today. I think we peaked at 25,
I know.
which is
Awesome.
a new record.
I think you guys had more than us.
We have like 18.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But
So-
together we
But
combine.
together.
That's
We're
right.
almost like 40. It's
Woo! Yeah.
not
But,
400.
no. I mean, we're not
That's
all
much
about
as
the
fun.
numbers,
Fantastic.
but it's really about connecting with you all, and especially during this time of isolation. It is so nice to know that there's other folks out there that care about what we have going on
Yeah.
and that we can interact with. So
Yep.
thank you, everybody, for coming out
Yeah.
and joining
Thank you.
us today.
X Marks the
Yes.
Spot was bowing out as well. Has to take the dogs out for a walk.
See you soon.
It's about
Virtually.
time now, so they appreciate us. We appreciate you. Thanks for coming here.
Yes.
You guys all rock. We love you all. Hugs and kisses, virtually, of course.
Yes. Mwah.
We'll see you guys all in our midweek videos.
That's right. All right. Take care. Have a fantastic week. Wash your hands and stay safe.
Demonstrate here.
We're gonna do your
Demonstrate.
closing.
Oh, yes. So this has been Natasha
And I'm Bill.
with Nursing Our Travel Bug, encouraging you to get out there and nurse what makes you happy.
And what's our...
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And remember,
Live
Live
life
life intentionally.
Bye,
Bye, everybody.
DJI.